Hi there, so today we are doing some knitting. Someone, and I forgot to make a note of their name, asked me if I could do a knit chatting video, which I don't think I did on this channel. I think I did it on my other channel, but it's more appropriate on this channel nowadays. So maybe there will be noises from my neighbors, but hopefully they won't be too distracting or sound in a bad way that makes it not very good. So I am knitting this scarf here for my mother. It was supposed to be her Christmas present, but it is now March and that means that it's a little bit late. And I can show you it. So it's cream color and green, and it has this pattern, and it's a bit twisted, so like this, and it'll go around like that and up and then down. So this is the middle point here, and yeah, so I'm almost done. I think if we fold it in half and match up the colors, there's this much left. No, wait. Yeah, this much. So, and it's a bit chilly. We've had a snowstorm for the past couple of days, and if I can remember to do it, I will put some visuals of that on the video. Yeah, we had a lot of snow, and there was chaos with the public transport, and yeah, but I love it. I even wished for a lot of snow the other day, so I think my wish, I had a lot of snow on my birthday, but I think my wish was a little too strong, so the snow multiplied a few days later. When I went out to shovel the snow, it was almost all the way up to my knee, so it was really heavy to move. But that's winter in Sweden. So this scarf is quite interesting. I chose it because it was different. So it uses something called rib stitch, which looks like this part down here. And because it's every other, it sort of pulls itself together, so you don't see the purl side, which is in the middle here. Instead, you get this, which looks like stockinette, which is what I have here, going down here, stockinette. And usually when you have stockinette like that, you have a purl side like this, with just pearls. But let me just put this back on because it's cold. Oops. I should have had some tea or something to warm myself up with. But because of how it's made, you have pearl on both sides, or stockinette on both sides. So I thought that was funny looking. It means you get like the nice looking side on both sides. And I've always knitted like this when I do regular knits, and then I would switch over to my other hand like this, have it around my finger when I do the purl side or the purl stitches, and then I would go back, and that is fine when you're doing like stockinette, so it's just one side, you do it the same way all the time. In this case, when you're doing every other one, that becomes tedious because you have to move the yarn, move it back, move the yarn. So I changed the way I did it to always have the yarn in this hand. So I would do it like this. So a purl, and then a normal knit, and a purl, and a normal knit. But as you can see, my finger now has to do a lot of the work, and I am constantly letting go of this stick, which I didn't like. So I started looking up different ways to do it, and I came across this method where you put the yarn, I'll come closer so you can see. So you have, this is how you do the normal knitting, and then you put the yarn on this side so it's in front, and you take up the yarn, then you pull it down like that, and you do your normal knitting, and then another purl, pull it down, and knit, which means that the yarn is always in this hand, which is good, but then you're still moving your finger up and down a lot, which in the end also got a bit annoying for me. So I found out about a method called Norwegian purl, which is appropriate because I'm from Sweden. Norway is my neighbor country. And with this one, you keep the yarn like when I do a knit, but you pick them up like that, and then you pick up the yarn and you twist it through, and you get your purl. And that means that the yarn is secure here, and I'm only using this hand to maneuver the yarn, but I'm not letting go of the stick, which just means it's a lot more effective. So I am happy that I have learned this new way of doing it, because now it's a lot faster. So yeah, another fun thing about this one, and we'll get there in just a second when I get to the end. Let me just hold on here. almost done. Okay. Just a few more. And we're to the end. And a pearl. Okay. So another thing I thought was fun about this pattern was that it has a border which I've never heard of before, which is called a slip stitch edge. And that feels like a tongue twister for me. But basically, I'll come closer again. So in this case here, I would have done a normal knitting stitch, but you just slip it off. So you don't do a knit. And that gives it, I can show you on this side instead, because it doesn't have all the loose yarn. So you get an edge that looks like this. And I thought that was fun and sturdy, and it doesn't curl up. So I like that. And I think I'm going to be using that a lot in the future for projects such as this, where you can see here the edge is curling up because it's just stuck in it. So yeah, and I'm not sure if it's because this edge is like it is, or if it's because it's made in rib stitch, but that's the experimentation that will have to be done in the future. So yeah. I'll just move back a bit so you can see the work as it's being done. Yeah, so what else? And because this way of knitting is so new to me, I have still not learned how to do it perfectly without looking. So I do look down a little bit, but with time it'll get easier because I am definitely hooked to this way of knitting now. It's so much easier. Yeah. The other day I was at a showing of an apartment that is like halfway from where I live to where I work, so it was pretty convenient, but I decided to decline the offer because it didn't have an oven. The rent was half of what I pay here, which would have been really good for my finances because I am all out of money right now. And it would have been closer to work, so I could have, instead of having to use public transport, I could have just bought a bike and bike to work. And after like 3 months, I would have saved up the money for doing that. So I would have started saving money by not buying a monthly subscription to the public transport. But it didn't have an oven. And I'm a person that likes to eat a lot of pizza. And I bake my own bread, and I bake my pies and stuff like that, and I just felt like I don't think I can live without a proper oven. And the kitchen, I think my kitchen right now is pretty small, and that kitchen was like half the size of this, so I don't think it was a good fit for me. Maybe 10 years ago, when I was a little smaller and had a little fewer needs. But now, no. So I was actually invited to a similar apartment, same size, same layout, and decided not to even go to it because it's gonna be the same, so it doesn't matter. So I had to change my criteria for what I look for in an apartment. So now I go for a little bit bigger and something with a proper kitchen. But hopefully I can find something soon, so I can save up money because I don't have any. And I mean that quite literally. Of my salary for last month, I had to pay bills and rent, and I used up more than my salary, so I had to take money from my quickly non-existing savings. But yeah, I'll manage. I always do somehow. I've actually been pretty lucky in things like that. Every time I seem to end up close to becoming homeless, somehow just magically a house appears for me to live in. Every time I am like on the verge of not having money for food, somehow I just find money or I get food somehow. So it always works out. Also things like when I went to study in China, China had just imposed a new visa regulation thingy, which meant that I needed my old passport. But in Sweden, they throw your passport away unless you ask to keep it. So my old passport didn't exist. But I had bought a ticket and they had my passport stuff and everything like that, and it was like just days were ticking down and I was getting stressed that would I be able to go, would I not be able to go? If I don't have my visa, then I can't enter the country. And the day before my plane was supposed to leave, I get a message that I can come and get my visa and my passport, and I was like, oh. So I rushed over there and got it, and yeah, stuff like that happens all the time. I'm really lucky when it comes to stuff like that, I think. I just wish I wish the luck would come a bit sooner, so I wouldn't have to suffer so much before I get it. But I guess that's what's made me me, and like my attitude to life. It's pretty, to age myself a little bit, it's pretty YOLO. Did I go too far? I got distracted with my own story. No, okay. Just looks so thick, but no, it's right. So this is the second to final color, white color stripe, which means I'm almost done, and that means that my mom can almost get her Christmas present. And there's also the issue with my brother's Christmas present. And this is how far I got. And this is also supposed to be his Christmas present. So, timing and making plans are not my strong suit. But I keep at it, and eventually I get there. Now, since January and in February, I wasn't really in the mood for knitting, so I didn't do any. But now with all the new snow, and hopefully I did remember to put it in the video so you could see it, I'm just feeling in a knitting mood. So I put on my blanket and thought I would do some knitting, and then I remembered that person that said that they missed my knit chat videos, and so here we are. It's almost 10 p.m. on a Friday. I will edit this quickly and then go to bed. Did I mention that my vacations are starting now as well? I had 2 weeks of vacation, the final week of February and the first week of March, and then I've been working 4 days now, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now I'm gonna go on vacation again for another 2 weeks. So all my coworkers are jealous because I am going on vacation, but they all had their vacation in summer, so I mean, it's just the same. And this is actually my first vacation since 2019, when I went to Scotland for a concert with a female group called Celtic Woman. It's like folk pop music maybe. So that was a lot of fun. But that was the last time I was on vacation. And I don't mean like I actually traveled somewhere. I haven't had any like vacation time at all. Almost every week I have 3 days off during the weekend. So I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Which means that I haven't had the need to take vacation. And every year here you can save a few days of your vacation. You get some in money and you get some saved. And apparently I've reached the limit of how many days I can save. So my boss told me that I had to take vacation. I was like, I don't want to, but I had to. So here we are. So now it's time for the color switch. And I'll maybe get a few rows of that in before I choose to end the video. I'm planning on doing it around the half an hour mark-ish. So we'll see. That's a bit long. That's a bit short. Yeah. So because you skip the first stitch or the first stitch, you have to change the color on the final stitch of the previous row, because now I will just slip it, and then that's the new color. So then it's the way it's supposed to be. And that's just great. then I like to do it 5 times. Just gonna pull this. And then we'll end it with a pearl. And there we have it. I have to hold on to that. Maybe I should have made it. Yeah, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna make it a little longer so it doesn't unravel while it's still being worked on. It should be secure either way once it's done, but just want to make sure nothing happens. So I'm just gonna pull this a little longer. And now I noticed I got really focused, but I will unfocus now. There we go. And we'll just keep going. It's quite long and quite heavy because it's actually, since it's pulling itself together, I mean, it's actually like this wide. So it's a lot of yarn that goes in. I think I bought 2 white and maybe 5 green. So that's 7 balls of yarn, which is great for the cold weather. Yeah, I don't think I have so much more to talk about. Nothing that I want to talk about, at least. There are, of course, a lot of things happening in my life, but some things you just want to keep to yourself, and that's okay. So not tomorrow, but the week after on Saturday. So not this Saturday coming, but the next Saturday, I will have my SATs in, I think it's next week. SATs test, and if I get a good enough result on that, then I should hopefully be able to go back to school next or this coming fall, and finally get a proper education and get somewhere in life. My goal is to become a veterinarian. That is quite a long education, but I figured that, hey, even if I get my education at 35 or something, I will still have almost 40 years to work, and that's a long time. That's a really long time. So even though it feels like maybe it's too late to start this education, I still have a lot of years left to work. So I don't let myself get beat up about it when people say that I am too old for that. No, I have many years. And I mean, if something happens along the way, something happens along the way. That's not a big deal. The question here is, yeah, it's a pearl. So now I'm gonna end this video just around here. But I would like some feedback, just what you think. Is this kind of video okay for the channel, in your opinion? Just talking about whatever, no script or like role playing, no fancy thingamabobs. Just me talking and doing something, whether that be knitting or maybe woodwork or sewing, because I have some things I need to mend. Or maybe playing a video game. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm gonna just test some things, because I've come to a point where I don't really feel like I want to do role-playing videos, but there are so many role-play videos on my channel, so I feel like I don't need to do anymore because there are so many, and you can always go back. It's not like they go bad. Instead, I want to focus on stuff like this, where I feel that I actually have the energy to make videos and actually then maybe keep a weekly schedule, and not like we've done right now, where I just pop in one video every other month or something. So I mean, that would be more content for you, because it would just be me talking while doing things that I do anyways, like my mother's scarf, or mending my broken pants, or sanding and oiling my wooden cutting boards, or playing Minecraft, because that's the only game that interests me right now. So yeah, just if you feel like you want to leave some feedback, then I would be very interested in hearing what you have to say. So with that said, we're gonna pause this. I'm gonna stop the video, and I'm gonna edit this, and I'm gonna try to remember to put some some wintry, snowy videos over this at the beginning, so you can see what the weather looks like here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please take care.